It's the weekend, baby. And these are the adventures of a temporarily out of work wife and mother. And this is Weekend Reset 12, part 2. And now, we're on the upstairs, baby. Now, y'all know that lady's son that I married is supposed to clean the master bathroom and bedroom, but he's out of town for the weekend, so we gonna get her done. Now, we have clothes that are already washed and dried, and then we have at least 4 or 5 loads of clothes that need to be washed, dried, and put away. So we're going to go ahead and get started with one of 2 loads of towels, washcloths, and the like. This new system that I implemented is working out perfectly. Now, no matter who's washing clothes, they know to check this bin first. If it's full, they go ahead and run a load of towels and washcloths, put those in the dryer, and then run their load. Now, they don't always fold them and put them away, but at least they get washed. There are some white ones, so I'm pulling those out. But the good thing is we have enough whites to do a load today between the 4 of us. Now, I didn't capture myself washing every load of clothes because how is that different? But I did capture myself doing what I do with my unmentionables, okay? One of the things that I absolutely detest is residue in the bottom of the laundry and fabric softener cups. So I am the only one who seems to be bothered by it because I'm the only one who ever cleans them out. And because they continuously forget to close the doors to the laundry closet, the motion activated light batteries keep dying. So I had to have my sunshine change them. Now, if you are not using bra keepers to wash your bras, how are you taking care of your investment? These over-the-shoulder boulder holders are just too expensive for you to be throwing them in the washing machine all willy-nilly. Now, jogging bras are one thing, but anything that has underwire, that has wire hooks on the back, they need special care and attention. You can wash them with your clothes like regular, but you need to at least put them in a bra keeper. I have quite a few of them. And you should be hanging them to dry. Don't put them things in the dang on dryer now. And now to the bedroom. Those sheets were newly put on, so I just went ahead and made that bed up and got those clean clothes that were already folded up, put away. Most of the room only needed to be straightened because it had already been thoroughly cleaned when it was reorganized. Obviously, I still got a lot to do as far as going through those papers, and I'm actually going to film that process when I finally get to it. Now, just like in part 1, I am not going to give you the blow-by-blow of what I'm doing because your eyes work. What I will tell you is a story. So, check this out. The night before this was hell. If you watch part 1, then you know that I was cleaning all day long, putting up blinds in the whole 9 yards. So the whole day, I had my Into the Night candle burning. And by the time I got in the tub, got out, air dried, applied my smell goods, threw my pajamas on, and got ready to go to bed, I realized that I had burnt the candle down to the very bottom. Now, if you get Bath & Body Works candles, then you know that something about the way the wicks are made or the way that they are affixed to the bottom means that you have like a quarter of an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch of candle that you just can't burn. I mean, it liquefies, but once it goes out, you can't relight it. And they are too expensive for me not to get my money's worth. Now, I never pay full price for the candles. I always get them when they're on sale. I always have rewards points and so on and so forth. But either way, I want all of my money's worth. And since I always have more than one of each scent on hand at a time, I will typically wait until it gets as low as possible, and then I will pour the liquid wax from the burning out candle into a newer candle. And I make sure that I don't pour it too high so that I can't actually burn the wick on the new candle. And so I was doing that at like 1 something in the morning when my hand that I've been having problems with due to carpal tunnel just went out on me and the whole candle just fell out of my hand. Now, it wasn't a lot of wax, but it was enough to get the wax everywhere. I got the wax on the TV. I got the wax on my glass TV stand. I got the wax on all the other candles that were in the vicinity. I got the wax on myself. Wax was everywhere. And I was definitely not in the mood to be cleaning up wax. Like I said, it was 1 something in the morning. My stomach was not too happy, and it was just downhill from there. Initially, I was just going to leave it there and clean it up the next day, but I decided that I just couldn't do that because I had worked too hard to get my downstairs cleaned and I wanted it to still be clean. Pause. Did I mention how much I am loving my master bathroom? How proud I am of myself? The motion sensor for our alarm system stopped working, so we upgraded it and got two. One for downstairs, one for upstairs. I did not record installing upstairs because that location is a secret. And while I was at it, I convinced that lady's son that I married to get me an indoor pan and tilt camera. It is not really for security. It is more so for nosiness and hilarities purposes because I'm sure it will make some good content. Be on the lookout for my home footage as is appropriate. I really cannot tell you why it was so difficult for me to get this thing up here. And just when I thought that I had it up there, I found out I did not. But eventually I got it up there. And I'm not sure why I looked at y'all like it was y'all fault, considering that y'all wasn't here. So my bad, y'all. Once I verified that it wasn't broken and it was up there appropriately, I secured it to the wall using the screw that came with it and tape. I got it all set up in the app, and then I decided to test it out. So I screen recorded as well as videotaped the actual camera while I used the pan and tilt feature. So this is what the camera was doing, and this is what it looked like on my phone. It has a great live feature as well as the ability to record incrementally due to motion or 24 hours. I got tired of random basketballs all over my floor and tripping over them. So I got my sunshine, this ball keeper, and I had him to put it together. He put it together backwards, and I helped him to ascertain where he went wrong and how to avoid that in the future, and assisted him with taking it apart so that he could put it together the right way. And then he got his remaining balls blown up and put together. Apparently, the dogs thought this was interesting because they followed him all around as he worked. Now, where was I on the candle story? I was exhausted and I was cleaning up candle wax. I leaned my hand on the table and thought to myself, ooh, I shouldn't do that. It might break. And just as I had that thought, I had a flash of a memory, a repressed memory from my childhood. I was 6 or 7 years old and someone had been mistreating me. And I was helpless. And right when I thought to myself and actually said out loud, that's all right. Something bad's gonna happen to you, and I'm never gonna have to see you again. Something bad happened. A glass table that nobody was touching or was even really remotely near, nothing was on the table, exploded spontaneously. And the glass didn't fall down. It fell up, injuring the person who'd been mistreating me really bad. Of course, we were both questioned. There was an entire investigation. Both of our stories were aligned. Neither of us had done anything. But the adults kept saying that I looked and was behaving like I was guilty. And that's because in my mind, I was. I thought and said this horrible thing, and immediately afterwards, this horrible thing happened. I wasn't old enough, informed enough, experienced enough to even consider that I didn't make this happen with my mind. I just had my first of many premonitions. I learned early what the scripture that says vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, actually means. I learned that when God pays you back for the wrong that others have done to you, it is never apples to apples. They might tell a lie that impacts your professional reputation, and if you choose to retaliate, whatever the worst is that you could possibly do will be all that you get out of it. But if you speak truth and then let the cards fall where they may, God will handle the rest. Their lie may very well stand, and the impact on your reputation may not be something that you can repair. But when they wake up dead, don't be surprised. I'm not saying that God's going around killing people because they lied on you. I'm saying that God takes care of his own. That if they did it to you, they've done it before. And one way or another, their day will come. When it does, it'll be worse than you could have ever imagined. When God gets his lick back, everybody in the vicinity better duck. Because the same way that God's blessings are contagious, so is his vengeance. I'd hate to even be associated with the people who have done things to me that I didn't try to get retribution for. I wouldn't even want to live on their street. I make a concerted effort not to use my words to harm others, but I absolutely will speak truth to power. And when I do, walls come crashing down. Y'all send up a prayer for the family of that man who lost his life the other day after lying on my sister. And for the children of the man who lost his home, his business, his vehicle, and every dime that he had after he put hands on somebody else near and dear to my heart. And if it's anybody out there who's done you wrong, who you didn't try to fight back, try to fight against, try to get back on, just know their day will come. And you might not even be there to see it. You might not even hear about it. But God never forgets. And remember, before you ask God for anything, thank Him for everything.